If you are listening to sessions on YouTube and would like future episodes delivered right to your favorite podcast player, head to patreon.com/DGAF poker player and sign up for free. Then copy your personal RSS feed and paste it wherever you normally listen to podcasts. Spotify, the podcast app on your iPhone, wherever. If you'd like to get 2 drops of sessions each week instead of just one, upgrade to a paid member for $4.22 a month or more. Paid members get a lead up to each episode. Lead ups are private drops of sessions in which I share everything that goes on in my life when I'm not at the poker table. And according to hundreds of listeners, many of whom have been paid members since 2019, the lead ups are the juice. Sometimes they are dark, sad, maybe even painful. Other times they are funny, inspirational, perhaps even educational. No matter what, they always tell the story. My story. High Stakes Poker Pro hits rock bottom at age 43 and does everything he can to not only survive and provide for his kids, but hopefully rise once more against all odds. If you too want these lead-ups, which due to their raw and spewy nature are said to be perfect for commutes, workouts, walks, or just trying to fall asleep after a busy day, upgrade to a paid member. If you just want the poker shit, that's cool too. The poker shit will always be free. However, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that in addition to receiving a lead-up each week, paid members also get full access to all 8 seasons of sessions, full access to my mental health podcast, solicited advice podcast, plus membership to Patron Discord, the platform where listeners from all over the world go to have discussions and share their stories. They also play poker together, bet sports together with no vig, and some even buy pieces of me when I play poker with no markup. Many paid members listening right now would tell you that not only have they enjoyed endless audio escapes over the years, but they've also formed real, lasting friendships with other DGens on Patron Discord. To recap, if you want to listen to sessions on a podcast player moving forward, sign up for free at patreon.com/DGAF poker player and then paste your personal RSS feed wherever you normally listen to podcasts. And if you want endless spew plus interaction with other listeners from all over the world, upgrade to a paid member. Okay, how long was that? Felt long. Maybe because I've just done it too many times. Got to do it. I guess it was only 3 minutes or less, but you just got to do it. It's just one of those things in life. Let me take a sip of this water. You got to do that too. You got to drink water. Week 44 of 50, the ick. So it's Monday, October 27th. I'm at the Gardens with a 5K roll again. 3K mine and 2K the Game Day Corporation. That's one of the staking entities on Patron Discord. I think this is a fine situation for now. I am buried in makeup with the main staking corp, and I need to address that soon now that I have been finding time to play sessions again. It's an interesting spot where you're a proven winner, not just for years, but for decades. You get backed, you earn a bunch, you go on your own, you downswing, obviously. You get backed again, you earn a little bit, and then you go on a death run, and you exhaust the roll. Well, what now? For me, it feels weird trying to convince anyone to reload. I think it's smart to reload. I think I will always win in the end. Why? Because I'm incredibly perceptive, sensitive, and experienced. And my game's always the best one in the casino, and that's not random. Those are soft skills. And I know what you have. I know what you think I have. And yeah, in the end, I'm just going to win like I always have. Except for 2000. What was my first year that I lost? 2017. So I started keeping track, I think, right after, before even No Limit, I started keeping track. So maybe the year 2000. So we're in 2025. And the first 16 years I won, and then I lost in 2017. Then I won a little bit in 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. And then I won in 23 also. And I lost in 2024. And I'm losing again in 2025. But I haven't put in a ton of volume. And, it's always been high variance. Not just my style, but live poker in general. It's so slow. And now it's become way more high variance because all the structures are designed for that. And that's smart by the game operators. But anyways, it's just a weird spot for me because, conscience aside, it would be better for me if they didn't reload because I wouldn't have to get out of makeup. But I don't want to, some people probably weren't around for the first, or prior staking arrangements. So I don't want anyone to lose money backing me. And another variable is that it was set up when I was playing on Hustler Casino Live, which, people can see how juicy those games are and they get to watch, so they get some entertainment value as well. And that just could not have seen that coming, where I would have to leave that. But, yeah, I don't know. It's just, for now, I'm just playing 3K of my money and 2K of a separate staking entity. And anyways, going into this session, I have not been feeling great at all. I've been feeling incredibly icky for, I think, a very legitimate reason. I've been trying to work through it. Cognitive behavioral therapy. That's just where you feel bad and then you try and think your way out of it. And if you haven't done anything wrong, and especially if you're trying to do something very right, but it's difficult, you should be able to think your way out of feeling bad about it. And I've been trying to do that, plus being smart on this day. Played some pickleball with some really good people. Went to dinner with a great person. And then watched the end of the Dodgers game. This was the 18-inning Game 3 of the World Series with some really fun, good people. And Freddie Freeman just took some of the ick away with a walk-off. So now it's me, Aquila, and Insane Shane starting a bounty game at Gardens. That's 5-5-10. I'm going to get the 20 on, obviously. The buy-in, they're letting us buy in for 1,000 on this night. It varies. And so it's us three with the Dustbusters. As mentioned in the lead-up, we're the Dust, they're the Busters. And I got to give credit before we get in any hands. I got to give credit to the floor at Gardens. Yeah, I tip them, but they just are so accommodating. I walk in and I have a new dealer. That's how it used to be at Commerce back in the day. I guess maybe everyone didn't tip the floor, but I always did. And they would just start a game for me whenever I wanted. And it's nice. It's better than sitting around playing Switch Thumb, waiting to get in some dusty game. So I'm all in against Aquila right away. I'm a favorite. I have a better hand, but we chop. We run it twice. Aquila likes to run it twice. And then I spew around for a little bit, and I'm down $300. So what? Just having fun, gambling. The game will get serious later or bigger later, and then I run good spewing around, and I'm up a few hundred. And then some of you have 1,300 in front of me, 1,400. And it's one of their bomb pots. So they frequently have these. Sorry, I got to stretch it. It's early as shit. Okay. $25 no limit bomb pot. Everyone puts in $25. You get 2 cards, go to the flop. And my image is my image. spewy, bluffy, thin value, all that stuff that I've been doing for, Jesus, 2 decades now. But I have king 9 of spades and it comes jack 6 deuce. All spades. Okay. And I ended up getting it all in against ace 7 of spades. So that's a cooler. And the brief moments of run good, spewing around are completely erased. Just flop the second nuts. And with my image, you got to go for all the money with the second nuts. And this guy flopped the nuts. And he's a dust buster. I'm dust. So rebuy. I wasn't too tilted getting cooler for my stack. It's not the first time in my life. And so rebuy for another 1,000 and spew around, and it's going good spewing around. I have maybe 12 or 1,300. I look down at pocket kings. Okay, I'm going to use my image and send it in, and I do. And it's on Aquila, and it's pre-flop. And she says, fuck it, I'm going home. Okay. She calls. I have 2 kings. She has an 8 and a 7 different suits. Twice, dealer. Run it twice, and I am reaching into my man purse for another buy-in. I don't know the odds of 7-8 offsuit beating kings on 2 boards, but it didn't surprise me at all. And now I'm down 2K. I don't know. Did I overplay kings? Did I not manifest at least a chop? I think I need to look within. I think I fucked that up. I overplayed. No. But I am on my 3rd buy-in. I'm down 2K. It's not my first time. Now I'm all in somehow with ace 9 against queen jack offsuit. Didn't win that one either. Okay, you're not going to always win that one, but sometimes you could. And then Aquila leaves. I think Insane Shane left. And I start winning pots. And, so you start down 2,500, 3K. I think I was stuck 3K. And then you start building towards getting even again. And then I called a check raise on king, queen, 5-5 king, because my opponent, who I'd played with before, seemed so confident. He's across the table from me, and I leveled myself. There's no way someone who has the king would really be this much of a tell box and just be like talking and laughing. Like, no, they have to be trying to give me a reverse tell. And so I called. I had ace high. And if you're wondering why I bet with ace high on the river, I was trying to, get called by play the board. I bet tiny. And I don't remember how much he check raised, maybe 900 or something. But the game was, fully out of the muck. It's 5-5, 10, 20. Letting people buy him for whatever they want at this point. And I called because he seemed so confident and so relaxed and I know he's a decent player, or at least a decent player, might be a good player. I thought this had to be a reverse tell. It wasn't. It was sometimes a cigar is just a cigar. And that's what it was. And I felt a little bit stupid. Like all the signs were there that he had it. But really in 2025, someone playing these stakes that's good is really giving away their hand strength like that. Okay. Well, don't beat yourself up about it too much. Just try and learn from it. And get back to doing what you do best. And that is stealing fucking pots. And stealing side pots. This is something that's always been a strength of mine at the table. The stuff you can't memorize. The stuff that's no one's, back in the day putting in books, now putting in videos. Where it's a unique situation due to one person being all in. You know what they have, the guy calling with the draw or the bluff catcher, And like, or if you think the guy who's all in has a draw and you think the other guy is a bluff catcher but can't call your jam, now you want to jam, get out the best hand, you'll be isolated against the draw, that kind of stuff. I've always been good at this, and it was going well for me. And I will say that this guy sat down and first thing asked to, take the cap off, and he just seemed like a grinder. Young dude, in shape, fucking some sort of Euro. You're a poker pro. No one accommodates poker pros. That's just how it is. Poker pros don't get accommodated. They get barely let in the games for good reason. But he's like, I'm not a poker pro. I just want to play bigger. I said, well, just buy in. Don't talk about it. Like, what's with these kids these days? I would just do an IAO, is what we called it. Illegal add-on. And there's nothing shady about it. It's fucking man's game. Like, what is this bullshit cap? If the floor wants to come over and tell you not to do it, then you can't do it. And I don't do it anymore. But I'm saying, when I was a young buck, fuck this cap. This cap soft. No, let's take it off. Let's put on a little IAO. And I'd make it known. Like, people know my stack before the hand. But anyways, this guy and the other guy, God, I don't remember their names. But the other guy is the guy who called Mariano with kings on ace high board on HCL for a shit ton. And these guys were fucking funny. They're busting each other's balls, loaning, back and forth. They were funny and fun to play with, and they're both on my left. And I like when people go for it. That means you get to win without good hands. And here's a good hand, ace king of diamonds. And now I've added on, and I brought 5K, and it's all in play. And I have a ace king of diamonds, and I squeeze. And the guy on my left, who I thought was a pro, might be a pro, but not at these stakes. They're too small. He's spewing super hard. He calls, and it comes queen XX. And I bet, and he calls. And there's one diamond. I have ace king of diamonds. And the turn is another diamond. So there's two diamonds now. I have a wheel draw. So I think it's like 2, 4, 5 queen with two diamonds. And I have two overcards in the nut flush draw. And I check, and he bets. And I say check dark. That's something people do when they have a pair. I do it here with a huge draw. If the diamond comes, I want him to try and bluff me off my one pair. It's just an old, dumb vet thing. And the river is a beauty. It's a jack of diamonds. And I check dark. And he sends it in. And we got a lot, for the game. Cap was off, and it's always nice when you don't need to count because you got the nuts. You don't need to know how much it is. It doesn't matter. Call. Turn over my hand. He was very disappointed. I think he probably went runner flush as well. He didn't show his hand. Maybe it was a bluff. I doubt it. But either way, it's incredibly fortunate. And did I do anything special in his hand? I made it a bunch pre-flop with ace king suited. Everyone on the planet does that. I continuation bet small. Everyone on the planet does that. I called when I picked up the world. Everyone does that. I mean, some people might check raise, but that seems weird. Yeah, everyone does that. And the check dark, who knows if it mattered at all. So no, I didn't do anything special. I just ran hot in a hand when it mattered in the big spot. And suddenly I'm winning. I have a lot of chips in front of me. And just all this weight is lifted from my shoulders. I've been playing with, God, I wrote about this on 2+2 before I stopped posting on 2+2 about that monkey on your back with his nails in your shoulders. And that's when you've been running bad and you just feel that every hand. And like occasionally I said it goes out for a cigarette break. And that's when you get a pot like this. It's a absolute layup. I didn't do anything that no one else. I didn't do anything. I just played my hand as anyone else would. And I don't know how big the pot was. 8K, maybe bigger. And so I'm not feeling the run bad. I'm not feeling cursed. I'm not feeling that monkey on my back digging his dirty nails into my shoulders. I can breathe. And so the guy who I paid off when he had kings full opens late, and I'm the bounty button, and I make it $450 with 9-7 offsuit out of position. Why? We're deep. And I'm relaxed. And I'm probably going to figure out the best thing to do in this hand. And he calls. I get a pretty good flop, 10-9X. I decide to check. I just, decide to check. And he checks. And it turns an 8, and now there are 2 diamonds out there. And I bet 300. No, maybe I bet more. Maybe I bet 450 again. I don't know. I bet 400, something like that. He made it 1100. Okay, that's interesting. He opened late. I 3-bet 450, 9-7 offsuit. This was my favorite hand before I played no limit. I read some book back in the day where you're supposed to have one hand that you play like aces. When I was a limit pre-flop warrior. I was tight as fuck. But the one hand that I would go crazy with, because they said you should do that for balance back then, was 9-7 offsuit. It makes more sense to have an ace in there, but they weren't covering that back in 1998 or whatever. Anyways, I went crazy with it here, but I could go crazy with many hands. 450, he called. Okay, 10-9X, rainbow. I checked, he checked back. Okay, turns the 8 of diamonds. Now I bet, value, protection, whatever. And he raises to 1100. I'm definitely calling with second pair, open-ender, especially after 3-betting pre-flop and checking the flop. And the river is an 8. And I check, and if he was bluffing, he's going to shut down. And if he had it, he's going to bet again. He bets 1600. I don't like this. I don't like it at all. So I gotta play some poker here. I gotta think about this hand a little bit more. He could have anything decent pre-flop. And then he checks back 10-9X and didn't really think about betting. This is how I rewind a hand in my head. And I can go back, later and do it for this podcast. But 10-9X, rainbow, I checked. He didn't think about betting. And then he raised when the 8 of diamonds peeled off. Now there's 2 diamonds. Well, does he have Queen Jack? Like, does he have the nuts? Like, we're pretty deep. Well, why wouldn't he think about betting the flop with Queen Jack? Well, maybe he wouldn't. So he raises. But yeah, that raise on the turn just seemed, it didn't have any Hollywood to it. I just wasn't sold. And now the river's an 8, and I check, and he bets 1600. Wouldn't he bet more if he really had it? And more importantly, he looks fucking nervous. And I already know that this guy is not using reverse tells. So I don't like his sizing. It looks like value, like maybe a straight, even though the board paired. But I called, and he had ace-3 of diamonds. So he picked up a flush draw, missed, and then kind of put a weak bet out there on the river. But I won over 3K in the hand with 9-7 offsuit on 10-9 X 8-8. Apologize for yawning and stretching in the middle of the podcast. That's not professional. But that hand was kind of professional. And now the weight is really off my shoulders. So on the bounty, I have these two fucking heroes on my left. Can't remember their names, but they were funny. I ended up liking them. And, I was trying to play them heads up. They wanted to start a bigger game heads up between them. And I said, well, I'll play one of you guys. So let's play three-handed. I said, I'm not playing two friends three-handed. And this was the beginning. I said, I'll play one of you heads up. I'm really seeking this pretty much anytime I go to the casino. And no one's said yes yet in a long time. But anyways, being spewy and playing heads up is a beautiful thing. But anyways, by the end of the session, I said, I should have played you guys three-handed. You guys are awesome. And I just got to do some cool shit because the monkey was off my back. And then I just won another nice pot. And now I'm winning. I'm having like a decent win. And I'm the bounty. And the bounty structure favors me when I'm, especially, when I'm running well. I can just win pot after pot after pot. And I just get to do the dumbest shit. Like open limp the button with the bounty with Jack Deuce offsuit. And one of the hot shots raises in the small blind. The other hot shot calls. It gets back to me. I don't know what they made it, like 140. And I just get to say something that's like, someone my age, if they said it and they said it like I said it, they would always have a monster. I just made it 700. I forgot what I said, but something, something like ridiculous. And they both folded. And I showed the Jack Deuce offsuit just for fun. And they're both mad at each other. And they were cool dudes. And now it's 5 a.m. And I'm up good. The monkey's off my back. And a superstar sits down. Not a poker pro, but a VIP. And I just look at him and I'm thinking, back in the day when I was a poker pro, I couldn't leave, even though it's 5 a.m. I wouldn't leave. This guy just sat down, short-handed. No, but I'm just a wreck player at this point with a million things to do the next day. So I called it at 5 a.m. And I won about 10 lives for you old school listeners. And if you want to hear what that is and what happens next, you got to become a paid member at patreon.com/DGAF poker player. If you just want the poker shit, but don't want to listen on YouTube moving forward, go there and become a free member. Okay, goals. 50-50 tilt. 23 out of the 45 weeks thus far, I have not tilted 21 I have. And I'm counting if I tilt in my personal life. I just don't like two things at work here. I don't like how going to that dark place. And I feel like I need to be smarter. And I need to be mentally tougher and smarter. So 23 and 21, I'm passing that one. No makeup. Yeah, right. I'm buried in makeup and I'm not even on stake. I'm on a different kind of stake where it's just session by session. And that's been going well thus far for the Game Day Corporation. And then the last goal, 230. I want to weigh 230 pounds or less by the end of the year. Started 247.3. Last time was 221 and change. I weighed myself before I hit record. 227. Now, I have had water and coffee, and I'm wearing sweatpants and a sweatshirt because it's freezing. But, yeah, I got to keep my eye on that. Anyways. Until next time, peace.